What's good, YouTube? And welcome to a product you might be enjoying if you live in the Americas. In fact, I've talked to some South American friends, and theirs is only in English, and when they got the order that they tried to get in Spanish, they got the offer of full refund, or no, you can get the English cards, no discount, bonus, etc. So a lot of them ended up canceling too. This is not pretty much anywhere else. A lot of other regions had it canceled, and there's so much mass confusion over the marketing of Speed Duel. You can use these nice holo upgrades in mainstream Yu-Gi-Oh! I've heard people complaining, oh, I can't use Secret Baby Sarasaurus over in my tournaments. I just want to be able to play it. You can. You still can, you just can't play this in a Speed Duel format specifically. So I think that with the problems this product faced, over time I think it's actually going to do really well for itself, and a lot of these singles are going to get bought out because they're super nice past format upgrades. We're talking never before seen stuff like Secret Rare, Pot of Avarice. Yes, it's a mid-max, but the high quality Speed Duel cards also tend to do well on certain buyouts and end up going up over time. You have Stun right now and another Secret Fossil Dyna, even though it debuted in Secret, but then first time upgrades to heroes like Prisma is Secret Rare, where you have the 10 Ultra Rare, you have like a DT, you have Gold Rares, but this is the debut of a Secret Baby Sarasaurus people have been asking for forever. Secret Sakuretsu armor for the GOAT players. I mean, they'll still probably go for the Champion Pack Super if they're really balling out, but this is great for people who are on a budget and want to make their decks look nicer. Secret Aqua Dolphin in here, and Secret Dandelion is nice to see once again. And yeah, some of these are redo secrets, like these products have had that problem, Neos in Secret, but it's also the first time Speed Duelists are going to get it in these kinds of rarities. And I kind of like that Secret Neos alias as well for those little city players. Yeah, I do like seeing that here. So there's plenty to go around, and heck, only 12 listings on Fossil Dyna. It makes the front page for the common in the set. I think over time it's going to do well for this itself. It's almost at MSRP prices here, which is very successful, even though it's a bulkier product, both on eBay and here. It actually debuts at $15.99, and then if you buy more, you're getting a better deal, etc. But I don't think there's a lot of this to go around. So singles are still how I would go personally. Oversealed, get what you want probably sooner than later using that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you would already be buying. But I also did want to point out that Speed Duel stamp sometimes, you know, affects things. And then it's also, if there is another nice rarity despite the quality of the card, even in Speed Duels, it can kind of kill the traction of this card. Like, look, they're trying to buy out this Super Dark Magician Girl for the umpteenth time. It was at 12 to 15 at one point. It's never really truly recovered, and people keep going for it, and then it keeps coming back on down into availability. Look at that, $3.40 and quote-unquote market price around $5. Oh, wait, they did a secret rare for it. And then Flame Swordsman was because it's highest rarity look versus first edition LOB would obviously be the preference for somebody actually balling out. But look at this, it looks super nice, it's super high quality, and a lot of people went for it when the Flame Swordsman stuff did indeed release. But I pushed Summon Skull just because I like it and told people, hey, I enjoy this and I think it's low. Look, it's already back almost down to that $4. It even was about to hit there, and it's a far cry from, you know, the $8 it boosted to. It's hard to keep interest in Speed Duel cards. It's hard for people to continue to wrap back around them, especially when they're uncertain about the future of the format. Like, will Rush Duels end up completely replacing this? Is the sign of them not really waiting to do the mass release a sign for Rush Duels, is what a lot of people have been saying. I think it was just some production issue, but I do also question the future of Speed Duels in general. Let me know what you think of it down below, because it is a very huge market with a lot of problems and confusion, but I do think there's a lot of really nice cards and nice looking and feeling cards within these sets. Archlord Christia Quarter Century Secret Rare. On release, a lot of people thought this would do nothing but skyrocketed. Instead, it came back down to earth pretty darn heavily from where it started, and finally it's been bought back out towards its original prices of the market, 100 and then 120 lowest. Boomer formats really do bring things back around, and this is one of those cards that could find its way back into modern for sure, but it seems like people are buying in pretty hard right now. Somebody else in the Discord was like, why can't this happen for Lone Fire? So I checked it out, and initially it did spike up, and Plant Stuff has a lot of support, but it's come back down. Plant did get kind of recognized by Konami in past formats within their Time Wizard setup for tournaments, but yeah, it's done nothing but come back down. I will say, before Rarity Collection 2 drops, and I know I'm a broken record on it, get what you want out of Rarity Collection, because people will go back, mix, match, reach back towards the product that started it, and we've seen it time and time again happen, and it's been going up for the sealed too. But so many of these cards have had triple down buyouts into them and gone up in price. Almost every graph, no matter what the card is, towards the higher end of the set kind of looks like this, where people are buying in hard right now. So you want to get the cards you actually want out of the set probably sooner than later. Yeah, look, pretty much every top-end card that is really finding its traction is just starting to take off right now. So if you want a card in here, you might be waiting a long time for it to come back down in price, depending on what it is, and plenty of people are going in hot. Phantom Nightmare boxes sealed have been trickling on up in price. I do think having Yubel on the cover long term is kind of nice for the set, but with Modern, what's inside matters. I don't think Magicians of Bond and Unity is going to carry this super long term for a card to hunt inside. I think the Yubel stuff actually will, versus the current meta stuff, which a lot of it's been coming down besides speculation buys and certain other things. But yeah, definitely a lot of the metagame stuff in here has come down in price somewhat while the box continues to increase. Tons of potential still, especially depending on the WCQ. Speaking of the Yubel cover, well, we do have over here a couple banners on eBay. I personally collect banners, if you didn't know. I'm huge into stuff like that. And I do think this might end up being one of the more expensive banners for set banners for OTSs with Yubel on it. It's just something to end up thinking about and watching because of the popularity of it. But even the Power of Neos ones came down a bit over time, where I was like, it's a hero on it. It probably will stay. A lot of these end up around $120 to $100. And if you watch Facebook groups, sometimes $80 to $90 depending on the seller. So this is definitely kind of one to keep in mind when the next set banner comes out and shops start letting them go a little extra to replace it. If you're waiting for one, I would probably go for that timing personally. Mermail Atlanteans have a lot of speculation, with Rage of the Abyss being the next core booster set announced in the OCG. I've heard jokes of like, oh, they mean Abyss actors, but it most likely is going to be Mermails getting that support as they went to war with the Fire Kings, and it fits right into the lore happening here, and it would be super interesting to watch. And people with just that name have definitely bought into the market very hard. Check this out. You can even see a little dip on the graph, but it's way past that when you start actually going through. Unlimited ultimate rares at 29, and if we're hunting first editions, good luck. $60 to start on Abysstius. We have Abyss Megalo. Also, you see that little spike actually affecting the graph. It's a lot bigger than that when it comes down to these cards. And if you have max rarity Mermails, there are a couple times if you're like, should I sell into this? Well, first off, you're facing the card reveals versus now if the card reveals are awful and the deck can't play, then the price will likely plummet. But if it's even decently rogue, you could see them spike up more. So you're really just wedging your bet. Do I think the support that is titling the set, is it going to be good or is it going to be bad? Or in there at all? It'll probably be in there. But you're wedging your bets versus that. First edition Mermail here, I want to make sure, Abyss Megalo. They're all Abyss. I was like, I'm on Megalo, right? I finished Abysstius. 47 and then 50. Boomering out a little. Before, it's $65. Speaking of boomers, though, they are going towards people that, like, played a while ago with these sets. They're trying to capture TCG favorites and give them that extra support. Abyss Lind was nothing but down recently, although the Unlimited was up a little bit. It is completely sold out of any near mint copy. So people are buying pretty much anything if this card on the field is destroyed and sent to the graveyard. So you'd have to combo it in new ways. You'd have to not need your normal summon for other things, which, to be fair, a lot of the stuff in here, mermails. They don't need their normal summons, but you do want to be normaling probably the Atlantean Prince, Neptibus. Mermail Abyss Gaios has been power crept a bit. I did notice people didn't immediately go and buy out the unlimbs or anything, and even the first edition are pretty readily available. It's not a quick effect. While this card has Xyz materials, level 5 or higher monsters can't attack. Once per turn during either player's turn, detach one Xyz material from this card, negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls with less attack than this card. So there's a lot of problems this card has in Modern, so people aren't going for it, but it only has these versions. You would hope it might see a reprint in an OTS pack or something headed towards there, but right now there isn't, so it's probably still a tool you'll want as a one-of, depending on what gets printed in the set. And the Atlantean stuff, yeah, some of it's just hopping up in price, but it has been for some time. Look at this. This graph over the last 3 months is continuously up, even though the Mermail stuff wasn't like this on the graph. The Atlanteans were, and some past formats were looking at them. They're not immediately jumping up from where they were at just recently, but sales are starting, and you can see people starting to buy in here in the last 2 days since the announcement. But it will take a while to eat through Ultimate Rare Dragoons, and then we also have Marksman not really going all that crazy. In fact, it's been nothing but down over time for that version. But the commons are actually pretty expensive, and infantry has been the same kind of graph as Dragoons, consistently up. So people were looking into these cards before that. For the end of this video, I just want to talk about Godzilla X Kong real quick. Huge fan. It's the channel membership badges are based on Godzilla, right? I really enjoyed it. It's the Funko of the Monsterverse. They did so many cool things with Godzilla that go back to the Toho days. I don't want to really spoil too much, but they gave really references to every single era of Godzilla. I had a ton of fun. Is it my favorite Monsterverse movie? No, I did my list on Twitter if you want to see that, but I did really enjoy it. I will be seeing it a second time, which I rarely do with movies in theaters, and I suggest you give it a try if you're at all into monster movies. Thanks for watching, everybody.